Icky. Hello, Tamashi.
Okay, sure. Why not?
Too long to throw that clam. How's everyone doing tonight? Oh my god, I can't climb. Doing good? That's good. I'm alright. It's been a weird week, but I'm okay right now. I've mostly just been upset at my inconsistent play, but I think I've figured out why I've been getting more inconsistent lately, so that's helped. Tonight was better overall than how it's been before. So, I'm just figuring shit out, but I think I know what's been going on with me. I haven't played Tent or Scum to the Meta and 2-trick Sorella Krapid. Do whichever you prefer. I don't think Tent's very good in this meta, but if you think you can make it work, then it's up to you to go for it. So, I mean, if you really prefer doing Tent, then do it. I wouldn't suggest playing a weapon you don't enjoy at the end of the day, because I think if you play something you don't like, then you're not going to have a lot of interest to improve or practice it frequently. Trying to figure out how to play Brella aggressive. It more just depends on being able to pick the right fights and hold the right positions. Beating aggro with Brella a lot of times is a lot more about denying space rather than directly killing people. Like, you can see this in top JP Brellas a lot, is that they'll actually be like some of the least killing weapons on the team sometimes. but they'll often lead to the most kills from their teammates, or just deny a lot of space. It's very difficult to move a Brella once it's in a good position, or it takes a lot of effort. And Sorella's kit is really good at helping it stay in position. Hello. I have to be careful because of the rapid. I can really bully my shield. And the dualies can space away really easily. They can't kill me, but they can also live really easily. That being said, they do have to fight me if they have to approach, so. I don't know if there's anyone in the middle. I fucked that up. I wanted to get another shot in when I should have just held shield for the flick. Trying to close gap on the rapid. I can't really approach right now, but one of them might come back here. Oh, he went up off. What? I thought he was on. Another one here. Oh my god, same mistake. Yeah, it's okay though. They're dead. So worried about getting picks too much? Yeah. I mean, there are definitely sometimes where you should be going for the pick, like if you're against a shooter player alone or something. But a lot of times it's not about killing. Even most of its matchups is like, Brella's not particularly good at killing a lot of the meta weapons right now, it's just really good at not dying to them. Like a Brella it's hard to kill a CDS roll because it can outrange you, outspace you really easily. And you basically have to read where it goes, but you can still reliably shield in between each roll. So it's like the CDS isn't going to be able to kill you very easily if you have somewhere it needs to go, either. In this case, I can't really kill it, but he can't kill me. So it's more, does he have the space to hold? Also, frames are dropping a lot on this game. That's not the stream, like it's literally in-game, it's slowing frames. This map is like the worst map for it. I don't know why it drops frames so much, but it especially hurts Brella. I'm alright, yeah. I guess I'm doing good. That was really greedy for 1 point. I don't know why that guy jumped, but he's dead. He should have just held the ball there. There was really no need to go for points. I think 2 people down there are just tossing clams back and forth. Looks like they finally made a ball. Only to die. Shame. Rapid and double dually just makes it tricky to get picks unless if they have to go for me. Luckily the Tetris is going for a lot. Tetris is also harder to time because since they shoot while they roll, you technically don't have a downtime to drop shields safely. Which is different from every other dually. Not Charlie's not dead, but I knew I wouldn't die because of the Lion. That bird can kill if I'm weak. I don't know if Clam spawned here. The Tetra was watching. Wish Kunder was better. I'm more on the side that I don't think undercover should be a good weapon. I think it's way too easy. Like if it were to be good. Like hiding behind an undercover shield, it's like literally just a paint spammer that has protection to paint safely. It's just not a well-designed weapon to be good. I think it's a fun casual weapon, but I don't think it should be a very good weapon. Okay, well we have a football at spawn, they're behind us, that's not good. I can't really do anything about it, so I should just focus on our push. Okay,
I was gonna get the ball, so I just get a jump. I have to. He can score, but he's gonna die. I can't really protect him. There's too many. He missed the score. That's good. I was just messed up a lot. That's the kind of comp where I don't have a lot of room for error, and I kind of just got a little greedy too many times. Wasn't able to get anything off.
Even though Brella can kill, focus more on denying space and helping your teammates get the kills should be the primary thing. Yeah. I mean, if you get the chance to pick someone off, like, if they're gonna take a bad fight with you, then do it. But a lot of the good weapons right now can just avoid fighting Brellas. And won't... A lot of good players won't take fights with Brellas unless if they absolutely have to. Because for most weapons, it's just not a good idea to take a fight with a Brella in the first place. So they'll avoid it whenever possible. Being said, if you can get really close to someone to where they can't avoid a Brella fight, that can be really useful depending on the weapon you're fighting. In general, that's when you really want to go for picks. Also, if you're in a 1v2, then generally you'll need to try to get a pick rather than stalling it out because you'll just get your shield broken if you wait. Sometimes it's better for Brella to stall out people, and other times it's better for you to try to get a pick. You can't 1v2 you if you kill one of them first. The combat can be more aggressive on because the shooters don't really have options to avoid me without map control. Do you think it's a bad matchup for Spy Brella? Things like machine, blasters, chargers are pretty bad for it, generally. Some other weapons can be tricky too, but generally things that can have like the ability to hit around Brella shield and pressure really easily. Good against it. Shield was gonna be slower because of the slope. Ah, Siege. Wonderful meta weapon. Nothing wrong with it at all. At all. Absolutely. The Rays targeting, normally they'll go after whoever holds the football, even if sometimes they have better targets.
probably dead. Just needs a shield right now. Teammates with me. That's a situation where you want to stall it because we have numbers in paint. So if they try to take a fight with me, the other people are near enough to be able to capitalize on it. Oh my god, that guy's death literally ruined it. Literally ruined it. I would have scored. But because he died in front of me and pinned it over me. He just shouldn't have been there. I'll get tracked. I can get points off of the ball. Let's see if they'll overextend. Still fine. Just points. They'll get a ball, but they were probably gonna make one anyway. Yeah, they just made it in mid. Went over it. I don't think they have enough time to score, or if they do, it'll be barely. Yeah, barely. Oh, we're all dead. Yeah, it's fine. You just don't have to rush this. You can get a lot of points. Get the Clam if they need to sustain the flash. It's important to know when you don't need to rush defense on overtime pushes in CB. I just went right because they needed to get more clams, and those are the only clams near enough to where they could continue the push. Even if I didn't kill anyone, if I just got those clams there, and we normally defended, they just wouldn't be able to get enough points in order to get any form of lead. They needed to protect right side, and they didn't. You need to play the weapons to understand your role? Yeah. It shouldn't have 180p? Absolutely. Neither should C-Jet. Why do people play C-Jet anyway? Why do people play C-Jet? Because it has a 180 points for special Ray. So you can get Ray to force the opposing team to waste their armor or to get a pick. And because you get armor so much more frequently than Zaps will get... I mean, since you get Ray such more frequently than Zaps will get armor, you can guarantee either getting a pick or force the armor. And if you trade your Ray for the armor, not only is that a good trade for you special-wise, but you will get your Ray faster than they will get the armor. Also, burst bombs, it gives it a really good way of removing armor safely, and gives it a way of defending itself. So basically the weapon can have a really easy time not dying, because it doesn't need to engage, it can spam a lot of Ray. Like, pretty much the only thing you need to do is be good at using Ray, to be good at Jet. It's just another one of those weapons that is meta because it's 180p, and Nintendo didn't fix that yet. But they'll probably nerf it next patch because its popularity in Japan compared to every other backline is absolutely absurd. Like in the Premier League, which is like a league of all the top Japanese teams, C-Jet has more usage than every other backline combined. It's just outrageously, like, used. That was like barely in range, but holy shit, I got it. How was my day? I've been practicing a bunch more with SN and Zero lately, so it was good, but it's been a lot more practice, and I've done more +2 scrims, which have been alright, but I've done a bit too many of them. I think it started to have a bit of a negative impact to me, because it's very different than my normal practice. It's not a bad thing for me to do, but doing it all the time is just too much.
Jet seems to be pretty one-dimensional. I mean, C-Jet's always been one-dimensional. That's not really new, but it does its job just incredibly well. And there's not too much variety in backline playstyles. Like, chargers are another very, like, passive weapon. The more aggro backlines would be things like Splattlings, and then Explo is more paint-heavy and less kill-heavy, but it's still distance pressure. Splattlings are the more aggressive backlines that basically would go in, but the thing is, Splattlings are really bad right now. And they nerfed Ballpoint to be as bad as, like, Heavy and Hydra almost. It's a little better, but it's still, like, too bad to see play. So there's no variety in backline playstyle, since Splattlings aren't good. There's not too many backlines anyway, but basically the Splattlings that provide some variety to it just aren't good right now. They're too weak to be used over other chargers, even if they, or other backlines, even if they seem fine in hindsight. Like, they don't have any glaring weaknesses, but the thing about Splattlings is they're just too incredibly average compared to other backlines. Like Explo, you have insane paint. C-Jet, you have incredible ray spam. Charger, you have the pick potential. Bamboo, you have the one-shot potential. It's like all the other backs just have things that are much more drastic strengths that are worth using it for. Whereas Splattlings are just kind of average at everything. They don't even really paint that much better than Chargers. Like a little bit, but it's not really worth trading the one-shot for that. I think they need to give Splattlings, like, some other kind of buff. Ballpoint's something minor they need to revert, I don't know. Hydra needs a bit more mobility and probably 190p for the armor. Heavy needs something, I don't know what exactly they can do for it. Maybe less jump RNG or something like that. But it needs a way to be able to be more successful when it takes aggressive positions. Because that's what can make Heavy more worth using, is if it can be more aggressive, like Ballpoint can, but not, like, instead of full aggro, like, very mid-range aggro, basically. But if it's not able to do that, it's just not, like, it can't get enough value from staying in a backline position like Charger, because then it's just better to play Charger. So if you wanted to go with Spawning, you, like, have to be able to be aggro with it. So it's like, I feel like if they buffed Heavy, they should give it something to help it be aggro better. Because that'll push what it's supposed to do anyway. Ballpoint doesn't need as much, because its kit is just inherently really good for frontline orientated comps, and it has a niche with Beacon. So it really just needs to be slightly better. They just need to tone down a little bit of what they nerf. Not everything, but just a little bit, so that it can be worth using again. I don't think it's, like, the most difficult thing to balance, but I don't know if Nintendo's actually going to do it. Good morning, Keen. I think C-Jet's probably, like, the worst thing in the meta right now by far, and also one of the least abused. It's just inherent nature of special spam and one of the worst designed specials even after the nerfs, so it's like, I think it's the thing that needs to go the most. Zap isn't too bad, like, armor can be problematic, but as long as it's not double armor, it's not necessarily terrible, and Zap can't really spam armor like Junior, like, you still have to play it aggressively at times, so it's not like a completely shit meta option. I think the big problem with the meta is just, with main power up, along with some of the new weapons that have been released, you just start to get to a lot of power creep from mid lines, just getting passive buffs to the point of being ridiculous. And then the increase in those midline meta weapons being good has mostly led to other midline meta weapons that can counter it being better. Krapid's a great example of that. Krapid, like, is mainly good at dealing with midline weapons. Some backlines, yes. Some frontlines, good. Some specials, yes. But primarily, it's just seen as a huge counter because it's good at dealing with other midline weapons. So it's overall just led to a point where so many frontlines and backlines aren't good, but there are so many different midline options that could be good that it always ends up being some midline-orientated meta. Like, even frontliners that have been meta mostly like special spam. Like, even K-Shot was like 180p missiles that wouldn't be too aggro at times. Like, it overall was still not exactly played super aggressively. Can you stream snipe me? Sure, I don't care. If you want to play Clam, Blitz. Very surprised you come back to the game to play Clam Blitz of all things, gamer. Oh my god, I whiffed so hard. Oh, it's okay though. I don't know, I've thought this way about game balance for a while, particularly frontline, but I think backline deserves attention because even though there's less backlines and a lot of backlines are good, splatlings are the main variety in terms of backline play styles. So them not being good just means backline's a very stagnant, one-dimensional role. Where before, if there were a time where splatlings were good, or even when ballpoint was good, your backline could drastically change its play style and how it wants to operate. But in this case, it's just not really worth doing that ever. I hate the brush matchup. It's so vain. Oh, I was ready to dip for that hand. See or no? I missed the jump. Miss end parry meta? Yeah. End parries were basically killed by power creep. A bit of over nerfs as well, but the rise of MPU is just one of the direct things to counter dualies. Because in particular, dualies roll gets damaged by enemy ink a lot. So it's like that particular idea of being 3-shotted for touching enemy ink, like, hurts dualies more than any other class of weapon. That dude almost body blocked me. Also, I just jumped into the hammer. And I dropped the 2 clams we needed to win the game. Which means we might have to play the game longer. Oh, we don't have to play the game longer. Let's go. Loggers. I just dropped my controller. Good one. But I mean, look at the front lines and look at how bad most of them are. Like, every one-shot blaster is garbage. All of the rollers besides Dynamo are pretty bad, with Flings of being decent. All of the dualies besides CDS are bad. A lot of the shooters have problems, even if they're viable. And then backlines, every splatling that's a backline splatling is dog shit. Yeah, I felt they should have given Dooley some kind of ink res effect on its dodge rolls. Like they did with ink brushes rolling, but not as extreme. Because they just get shat on by it way too much. But then you'd have to give it to CDS, and CDS is already the best weapon in the game right now by a good margin. I think probably CDS, and then... I think I'd say CDS, then C-Jet, then Bamboo, then Zap, then Brella. Probably top 5 right now. Then Krapid. Probably. But I'm not, like, completely thinking of everything, so I might have forgotten stuff then. But I'd say that's, like... Dude. Yeah, get out, please. Should not be on Splatoon if your connection is like that. Especially when I'm trying to play Brella. Oh. Fuck. Thoughts on brushes? Octobrush was basically killed when Splatoon 2 came out because they decided to rework it and do the worst changes possible. They somehow managed to make the weapon more brain dead when it had shit it had to think about in the first game, while at the same time also taking away literally everything that made the weapon good in the first place. So now it's both a brain-dead weapon in casual play and a garbage weapon in competitive play that has never seen the light of day and probably never will. Ink Brush, on the other hand, got good buffs and was balanced to be a relatively solid weapon in this game. I think it's okay right now. Particularly, I think it works good with Brella, but I still think it struggles against, like, a 4 midline comp I think it can't do anything about. I think if you fight a team that runs a backline, then it's fine. But if you're against, like, a 4 midline team, like a CDS, Bamboo, Brella, Zap, or anything like that, like primary meta weapons, I just don't see how Brush does anything. Like, these weapons can 1v1 you fine, so you can't distract them. They have shit to deal with Baller.
and they don't play apart from their team at all, so it's not like you're gonna isolate people. I just think it still can be difficult to kill if you get control, but I think Brella is just better at that job. And even if I think, like, okay, what about Brella Brush to enable it, I just also think, oh yeah, I'd rather just have 2 Brellas, though. I think it's, like, fine. It's just, in this meta in particular, Ink Brush struggles because it's all midline. I think when more front lines and back lines are better, Brush will be much better. But Octobrush is just completely murdered. It's not coming back. Unless if they revert the changes they did, basically. If they don't do that, the weapon's dead. They also can't buff it right now because Octobrush is still a fucking nightmare in casual play because it's brain dead as shit, like, more than any other weapon. So it's like, if they buff it for comp play, it'll be an issue in casual play, so the only way they can balance it is if they nerf the brain dead aspects and then buff the aspects that should be buffed. And anything that looks like that, 90% of the time I'm going to bet you that's just going to look like reverting to what it was in Splatoon 1. Which is basically less range and more damage. Which is what they should do, but they're not going to. But I mean, yeah, Octobrush, I guess just to summarize, Octobrush is dog shit. Inkbrush is good in other metas, not really in this one. But it's not unusable in this one. Just really fucking difficult. I'd say it's like still a high tier weapon. Like, it still works. You can still use it. If you mean kits, then just play the Inkbrush Nuvu with Baller. The armor one isn't really that good. There's better armor weapons to play most of the time. Not all the time. Like, if you really need it for comps, alright, but you really should be using the Baller one. Don't ever use the Splashdown one, it's garbage. And the other 3 Octobrushes, it doesn't matter, you shouldn't be playing Octobrush in the first place. My bombs did damage to him and that helped him get killed. What about Tetras? Tetras are made to kill things. The current meta is made to not die to things. It is not good. Also, Tetras either needs to dedicate gear on a weapon that's already reliant on QR, ability that isn't too strong right now, or it has to 2-shot armor. And 2-shotting armor in a potential multi-armor meta is not fucking good. Also, I just fell off into the water. Dark, light is a good? No, neither are good. Light is better than dark on certain maps. Most of the time dark is better, but both of them are still complete garbage. Some players have enough skill to make them work, which is cool, but in reality, I just don't think they're the best option. I think, like, if you're an absolute god with them, you can pull them off. But literally, you need to restrain yourself not to feed while having to press W enough to get value, because you don't paint, you don't get a good special. Like, you're made to kill, and that's it. So if you can't get kills, and these weapons are incredibly good at not dying to Tetra, then yeah, it sucks. I think if Tetris was able to break armor better, then, like, if it could reliably one-shot armor, or if QR were slightly better, I think Tetra could actually have a niche in this meta. Like, if it were to play with a comp with the goal of overwhelming via aggression, which is a potential niche if QR were better, then it could maybe have a niche. But as of right now, I don't think it's, like, anything exceptional. I just think it's not terrible because the weapon is, like, just has a high skill ceiling. The only reason Tetris and garbage is just the potential it has is insane. The heavy does not fight at all. Like, this kind of pressure the heavy is doing would just be better with the charger. The Booyah is the only thing that sets it apart, and it's just not worth it.
It's not like the player's fault, it's just the weapon isn't good enough to do what it needs to do to be worth using. I just don't think spawnings are a good investment either. Just, unfortunately, a lot of things are like... It feels like most weapons right now are either like, they're great for the meta, some are decent, and then others are just complete garbage at dealing with it and thus are considered bad. Like, the patch we have now is very isolated, so if you like the weapons that are good, you'll probably enjoy this patch decently. But if you don't, then your weapon's probably dog shit and you won't like it. It's just such a huge gap. It's annoying. I think part of what they can do in terms of nerfing is like reduce midline options that have gotten buffed and get rid of 180Ps. Just no weapon that can spam a special should be 180p. It just should not be a thing. And it's like if you're gonna make a weapon like K-Shot 200p, that's like not too good right now, then it gives you an opportunity to buff K-Shot in other ways. Like buff its damage back to 36. Which is like one of the... Oh, nice DC. Which is like one of the oldest nerfs in Splatoon history. It's like a Splatoon 1 nerf. But, well, for example, like... I want, like, for how much K-Shot would be helped by that, it would mean bomb defense, one sub of bomb defense that people run won't stop the bomb from 2 shots to killing. It'll do slightly better damage to objects and Brella shields and walls and Rainmaker shields and all that shit. And then on top of that, you can, on top of that, your fall-off damage will be better. Including the amount that will break armor, meaning you can break armor from further away. So it's like, even a minor change like that is so helpful to a weapon like that. Because it just, that minor change has so much utility in the situations in which it helps. And then other weapons, it also just gives you a chance to remove that should not be good. Like, Junior should not be good, so get rid of Junior, because Junior is just inherently not a fun weapon to play with or against, and its playstyle is terrible for competitive. It gets rid of CJet, or at the very least, it forces CJet to abuse what it should have. Which is, if CJet is going to be good, it should be good because it's a shooter that can be more aggressive with burst bombs and take positions. Kind of like a pseudo Splatling, but different. But right now, it's just good because Ray spams, so it's not good for the game. Oh my god, please die. Please! What is happening? Fuck was that? Like, okay. Come on, there's gotta be a clam. There's none. Can I have a clam? Thanks, friend. Go. I give you my shield. Apparently people are becoming brain dead too. It is so with you. Oh, I couldn't get them both. Latency with shield stuff is aggravating? Yeah, I just did a scrim that was aggravating with lag, so... But I dealt with it. I didn't do great, but I didn't do complete garbage. It was just an awkward scrim because we didn't have our backliner. I had to play Rapid as the longest range, and that's just very awkward for me. I don't really like doing it. I like doing Rapid with another back most of the time. Okay, I got him to think I wasn't going to come up back here. And that's why we trick people. Oh, hi. You've learned nothing. We're winning this, by the way. Somehow. No. You're too close.
Not yet, actually. They have Carbon and Expo. I can't just shield launch through. If they had more shooters, I could. Oh, I might kill him. Oh, barely. Can I launch shield or will I run a Vink? Get to see my instinct exactly what it looks like running a Vink. Trade is okay. Binged a ton of YouTube videos. Glad to see your stream showed up unrecommended. Thank you. Oh, I ate his wall. It looked weird, but I ate the wall. Hi. It's okay that I didn't kill him. He needed to get a kill there, or he didn't do anything and had to back up anyway, so. At this point, we just need to deny their push. They only have one chance to do it. Just want to get map and clams in mid right now. They have a lot of objective. I can maybe kill the ball. There's a jump here. Okay. Don't want to feed them, honestly. They're going to save the ball, but I'm honestly going to let them. It's not worth rushing it. Grab the clam, just in case. I could potentially break away past them if they're not looking. Oh my god, they're not. No! Oh my god. There's no way I just did that. There's no way I just did that. We're fine. It's fine. It doesn't matter. We're gonna just clutch this 1v4. We're fine. This is fine. All good. Oh, let's go. Let's fucking go. 2400 lobby. 3v4, and we still won. Absolutely cracked. Let's go, team. Oh, yeah. Me and the squeezer. Let's go. I don't know who the squeezer is, but nice job, buddy. Absolutely fragging. Imagine losing a 3v4. There's just no way. Yo, Sky the Demon, thank you for the raid. How is everyone doing? How is your stream? Thanks so much for the raid, man. Do you think there is such a thing as too many builds for one weapon? Nah. I have like 4 Brella builds right now, and 3 Rapid builds. I used to just stick with 1 build for every weapon, but I like having some variety. Hello, Luna. I think we'll do one more to wrap up the placements. You know, they probably got a 0. I don't care. We still got points for it. Yeah, the squeezer went 21 and 8, and I went 22 and 4. Our junior went 8 and 6, counting assists. But that's okay. Because he didn't feed them. He got plenty of armors. He still held shit well. He was a good teammate. He didn't try to slay. He let me in the squeezer slay. Like, that whole team was just people who knew what they were doing. The squeezer was also top 500. I don't know who they are, but the build looks really nice. Mind sharing the builds? Yeah, I'll do so after this game. Making 4 builds for Zap, 1 for bombs, armor, aggro, and just normal. What? What the fuck is happening? Guys, come on, we're playing a video game here. He turned. Okay, he's moving. Dude, what the fuck is happening? I think there's one right next to the wall. Not sure. Doesn't look like it. No. I don't think there's anyone here. I'm gonna take the bet there's no one here. Why is the brush? I couldn't find the brush all game. He was just sitting top right for like 40 seconds, dude. He had to have been sitting there for 40 seconds or just not have gone to mid at all and then walked back there. Like, what? Don't know why he's over there. Does not make sense. Okay, is there a cluster here? Probably not. Nope. Tent's here, though, so he just wasted shield launch and can't use his shield. Oh! Let's go. Come here. Jump it, jump it. Come on, get the clam and jump. Get the clam and jump. Oh, no. Fuck it, I don't want to leave this spot. Oh, he fucked up. Expected me to respect him. Never expect respect. Please! Thank you. No! Do not climb this wall. Oh, I was like literal 1 health point remaining. Brush damage is terrible. This is why Octobrush isn't good. Oh, we're scoring. I did not think we were still scoring. I don't think we can score anymore. I just want to make a football. There's got to be clams somewhere. There's so little clams right now. I don't know why. Why do people just sit in random corners in this game? I don't understand. Yeah, it's fine. He's gonna pop hammer, but he can't kill me. If he drops, he'll die. Or just leave. But then his special got no value, so I mean... I want to target the football because... No, he is going to shield. Okay. He needs to score, and it doesn't look like he's jumping. Oh, he's trying to jump now. I'm just going to delay the jump with clams. They're going to probably make... Yeah, they made it. I was trying to get it before the brush got there. If that jump was close enough, damn. Seems like X rank has ceased to exist. You imply that it existed and was good at one point. It was not. It has never been good. This rank system has always been one of the worst in any competitive game. Please fuck off, Mr. Brush. Thank you. Okay. Come on! Didn't want them out of their recon either way. Maybe fast enough. Oh, let's go. It's fast enough. Hey, we did CV placements. I think we just lost 1 game. Let me check. Yeah, we just lost 1 game. And in that game I went positive, so it wasn't terrible either. But 9 out of 10 placements, including a 3v4 win. Let's see what we're gonna get. Really? Okay. Barely top 2,000 for 9 out of 10 with a 3v4 win. Excellent, excellent, excellent ranking system. Absolutely fucking wonderful. No issues here. No issues here. Alright, builds time. So, I was using a combination of 2 builds for this, because I think a bit of extra run is good, but normally this is the build I use most often. A little bit of charge up, mostly run swim. I have a run speed oriented build. I use this against certain comps. And it's just particularly to have good mobility, but particularly run speed. It can help with things like mini or double CDS comps. So in some places it works. I have a charge up build, which is another comp specific thing. Though it can work normally, I think charge up build is like, it forces you to sacrifice a lot of your run and swim speed, so you end up being super, super, super low mobility. If I can find the shoes. Where the fuck are my shoes? Yeah, right here. But it's really good against some weapons that really get shut down by bombers. For example, this is really good against like tent Brella, double tent, or even just single tent, or a tent and bubble blower, because tent is so reliant on having shield to pressure. And if a tent drops a shield and you have bomber, so you can just absolutely screw it over. It's one of the biggest issues right now with it, but like the run speed, this is like specifically against certain comps, it's really useful. And then this build, this is a relic of another time where Brella got to be more aggro.
This build isn't good anymore. It used to be good, but it's still my OG gear, so I keep it around. For Rapid, most of the time you'll see me using this, which about every Krapid player in the world fucking uses now, since I made it, which is understandable, because there's not much Krapid gear variance anyway, but it's pretty simple, 1.1, and then 0.2 of these abilities. Pretty self-explanatory. I made an LVE build because I think it's useful in some situations, which is the same shoes. The perks of this is you get a bit extra MPU for the RNG and radius, and you get a bit more swim speed. When you have LDE active, you get about 9 shots after torpedo, rather than 6 with your current build and 5 without any. And with partial LDE activated, it's still better than the normal amounts of sub-saver, plus you get extra ink recovery up. So if you're ever at a point where it'll go below 40, it can be worth it, but it's still a risky build. And then I have the high swim speed rapid build, which can be useful for rapid dittos. I find heavy swim speed is better than using the 4 bomb defense for rapid dittos, because it's frankly just more useful to be able to outspeed them, because it'll allow you to pick and choose your rapid fights. And if they run away, you can always chase them. If they chase you, you'll always outspace them. I think more swim speed is the real counter to another rapid player, not the 4 subs bomb defense. In most situations, this is going to be what helps you more often. It also can be good for some longer range maps like Albacore and Pit, where you want to rotate positions frequently. But I still think this build is better because you get more access to torpedo. But yeah, that's all my builds. I've actually really been liking this combination of builds for Brella right now. I haven't really been noticing the charge up miss too much, and the extra 2 subs of run speed is really helpful. I also got 2 million on this thing fairly recently. I'm about to pass Hero Brella with Krapid though. It's in at 4.5 million, and this one's at 4.4, and it's close to 4.5. So soon, for the first time since Hero Brella came out, it's not going to be my most used weapon. Which is crazy. It's been over 2 years of Hero Brella being my most used weapon by far. And it's finally going to get passed. But, yeah. I like this build though. I think it looks really nice too. But, it's pretty good. I also like the idea of having 1.2 ink saver main, because I think a lot of times when I use a run speed build and I get into Brella fights or something else, is they'll tend to just stall out my ink more. And I'll just run out of ink, and this happens a lot less often here.